Hi, Assalamualaikum and a very good morning. I'm Nurhana Jannah binti Abdul Halim with metric number AN180047. Today I will present my bachelor degree project titled A Study on the Acceptance of Building Information Modeling Virtual Reality BIM-VR in Malaysia construction industry. The study is about BIM-VR, where BIM-VR focuses on the model stressing data linking and relations. Users can view BIM data in an immersive visualization system and access variables such as cost and material type in real time. It allows users to experience the BIM model in a virtual environment without the limitation of peering into 2D drawings. The future applicability and practicability of BIM-VR in Malaysia's construction sector has yet to adopt this new technology, which this technology is included in the Industry Revolution 4.0. This research aims to study the acceptance of BIM-VR in the Malaysian design consultant, and the objectives are to determine the awareness and involvement of the Malaysian design consultant in BIM-VR in Malaysia, and also to identify the challenges of BIM-VR implementation in the Malaysian construction industry. This research used a quantitative approach and questionnaire survey. The data obtained were analyzed by using statistical package for social science, which called SPSS software version 28.0, where the tests conducted were frequency, descriptive, and Pearson correlation. Move to the introduction. The problem statement for this study is lack of knowledge and also hit by the COVID-19 pandemic, and also low maturity of the implementation. As I mentioned before, the aim is to study the acceptance of BIM-VR in Malaysia design consultant, and also the objective is to determine the awareness and involvement of Malaysia design consultant in BIM-VR, and also to identify the challenges of BIM-VR implementation in the Malaysia construction industry. Significance of this study is helps the stakeholders in decision making for the construction process. Second, to offset COVID-19 negative consequence in construction industry. And lastly, to raise awareness of BIM-VR users and overcome its challenge. So for the scope of the study is 55 architects located in Selangor were given a set of questionnaire. Let's move to the literature review, where Industry Revolution 4.0 being introduced. So for Industry Revolution 4.0, there are 4 stages, which is the first stage is as is industry in moving away from manual labor and into the first industrial methods. And move to the second stage, where automated manufacturing process being introduced. And the third stage is early computing and information technology convergence. And the final stage, which is nowadays, we will use machines redefining themselves in terms of how they interact and execute specific tasks. So next, for Building Information Modeling, which is BIM, refers to the method and practice of virtual design and construction throughout the life cycle of a building. Not just software, but also 3D building design, which organize and visualize all building data prior to real construction. And virtual reality is a new technology that allows for the immersive real-time viewing of 3D data. A tool that allows for the simulation of large amounts of structured data. VR also serves to teach and inform consumers by providing specific science visualization, which is by helmet-mounted display HMD system. The approach of the methodology is quantitative research, where the pilot study being made, and for the pilot study, there are 3 respondents who answer for the data in the pilot study, which is a person who do the research, second from academic, and also the third one is person who come from the industrial environment. And next, we do the data collection, which is structured questions distributed to 55 architecture firms in Selangor. And next, the data analysis being made, where SPSS statistics were used in this research to analyze the data. And lastly, the discussion and conclusion. So move to the data and analysis. As we can see for the table for section B, which is it is a summary of awareness and involvement of BIM-VR in construction industry. So for the average, for the total mean is 2.30 and overall low mean, indicating that majority of the respondents may be aware of the symbiosis of BIM and VR, but hardly are involved directly in the implementation of the technology tools. Section B, which is about BIM-VR awareness and involvement, provides 10 items, 3 for awareness and 7 for involvement. As indicated in the table, analysis for section B, all the data is valid because there are no missing values. So as for based on the table, all the data is showing the ranking of their mean, which is for the data in section B, where the highest is 3.06, where BIM-VR can smoothen the communication in the design consultant team. Data may be immediately evaluated on site and compared to the original building model. This strategy delivers dependable sources of information without requiring a visit to the site. Furthermore, it enables site managers to report to the project managers to maintain track of operational progress. And as for the lowest mean is 1.52, which the item indicates whether the respondents use VR in architect drawing or not. According to the survey result for this part, respondents are aware of BIM-VR with a mean of 2.0 and above. Meanwhile, the respondents are not fully involved in BIM-VR since the result reveals that only 3 out of 7 items with a mean more than 2.0 are about using VR in daily life, such as gaming mode, and would select BIM-VR in project discussion. For the majority, the mean of the involvement items is less than 2.0. For the next table is a summary of challenges of BIM-VR in construction project, which is the data for section C. The table shows the mean ranking of the challenges in BIM-VR from highest to the lowest. The average for the total mean is 3.21 and overall moderate mean, indicating that majority of the respondents agree on the challenges suggested, which are mainly on lack of initiative on the part of government authorities in adapting and implementing VR in BIM, which is it ranked the first, and incompatibility between VR and BIM pure software, where it's ranked number 2. Indeed, the government supports and enforcement of BIM-VR deployment can lead to a faster implementation of BIM-VR. Only 2 challenges are not agreed upon by the respondents, which are BIM-VR does not deliver a clear return on investment and BIM-VR harms the body. As for the last table, it shows the Pearson correlation of Size of company versus awareness and involvement or challenges for BIM-VR. These two variables are correlated each other, where the Pearson correlation matrix give the value, and based on the table, size of company show a strong positive relationship, where the coefficient is 0.880 with I use VR in architect drawings. If the size of the company increases, the involvement in VR for architect drawing will also increase. In addition, in the correlation between size of company and challenges of BIM-VR, a strong negative correlation, which is coefficient negative 0.900, is formed, with training someone to utilize BIM-VR take a lengthy time. This finding reflects that bigger companies actually consider BIM-VR training as an impactful and are willing to place huge investment on the training of BIM-VR for their workers. In a nutshell, a study on the acceptance of BIM-VR in Malaysian construction industry is conducted to achieve two main objectives, which are to determine the awareness and involvement of Malaysia design consultant in BIM-VR in Malaysia, and also to identify the challenges of BIM-VR implementation in the Malaysia construction industry. Concerning identifying awareness, involvement and challenges to implementing BIM-VR, data were acquired from the outcomes of a survey that included 33 respondents from an architecture firm in Selangor, as illustrated in frequency analysis for the entire question. So for the objective 1 is to determine the awareness and involvement of Malaysia design consultant in BIM-VR in Malaysia. The data from the result finding show overall low mean of 2.30, indicating that majority of the respondents may be aware of the symbiosis of BIM and VR, but hardly are involved directly in the implementation of the technology tools. These findings have justified the need for Objective 2, which is to gauge on the challenges the industry face in adapting BIM-VR. Hence, Objective 1 has been fulfilled. Meanwhile, for Objective 2, it is to identify the challenges, where the data from the result findings on challenges of BIM-VR implementation shows an overall total mean of 3.21, indicating that majority of the respondents agree on the challenges suggested, which are mainly on lack of initiative on the part of the government authorities in adopting and implementing VR in BIM, and incompatibility between VR and BIM pure software. Indeed, the government's support and enforcement of BIM-VR deployment can lead to a faster implementation of BIM-VR. Hence, Objective 2 has been fulfilled. So lastly, this is the references I stated, where these three references is about BIM and VR. That's all from me. Thank you.